I'm gonna give it a second to show up here. I'm gonna drink some cold brew. All right. I said I was going to get on here more. I am going to start doing little mini live trainings at least every Monday, and then throughout the week I might do them on Fridays as well. And Monday is going to be a little bit more of a myth buster. So I had a quiz out there that I want you definitely to go ahead and answer it. And I'm going to do a little mini training on it. So if you have any things that, nutrition or fitness related things that you're struggling with as far as like whether it's true or not, you're still confused about it, or if you want any other mini trainings for me to cover, I am here for you guys. I want to get this group going again. I do have some fun stuff planned in August, but given that it's summer, given that the fact that so many women are struggling right now with their nutrition as things open up, as you go out to eat, more opportunities to, so to speak, fall off track, that I want to get on here and really be able to coach you guys and help you out in any way I can. So with that said, I do have to plug that if you're just starting tracking macros, or if you've been doing it for a while and you've hit a plateau, I announced last week that I am doing one-time macro assessments with 2 weeks of support. And for until next Friday, for one more week, it's only $99. You're going to get your macros, and then you're going to have 2 weeks of Voxer tech support with me to answer any questions, to take a look at your food log, see what's going on, see if there's a reason why you're not seeing the progress that you're expecting. And really, it's going to be there to help with that accountability to get things going. See what it's like to work with a coach, to have someone there to hold you accountable. So if you're interested in that, I'll drop a link below. And if you're watching this, I'd love to hear where you are on your fitness journey. Are you just starting tracking macros? Are you been doing it for a year? Have you been doing it for 2 years? Are you just like starting to get into it and just try to figure out what macros is all about? So I'd love to hear from you guys where you're at. Drop that below. Let me know where it is. And then I think that's everything I want to cover. I actually wrote my notes down here to remind me. So we're going to talk about 5 tips to get started with tracking macros. And the first one is obviously once you have your macros set for you, is to use a food scale. I can't tell you how often, especially with my clients, that they stop using the food scale and they stop seeing progress. The goal of the food scale is going to be to help with that accuracy, but also help you learn what portion sizes look like for you. I don't know about you, but like if I'm having popcorn, if I'm having any like goldfish or any of that stuff, like it's just handfuls, and it's easy to go way overboard because you don't really feel satiated, you don't really feel full after eating it. So that's going to help you learn what portion sizes is going to be helpful in the future for going out to eat, going to barbecues, just living life, living intuitively eating, because that's where we all want to get to, whether your goal is like building strength, eating healthier, losing fat, whatever that goal is for you, this is going to help long term. And I will tell you that you will see the best results when you start weighing your food. It doesn't have to be like this big thing when you're going and using a food scale. You just put your plate on there, you put some stuff on there. If you want me to do a training again about food scale, which I do have a training, I think, further down in the Facebook group about using a food scale, I can definitely do that. So that's the first step. The second tip is track everything. Do not get to a point where you're like, screw it, like I already went over, I'm not even going to track it, because what that's going to prove to you is that when you're good and on point, you're tracking, and then when you're not, you're just like, going out the window. And that is that all or nothing mindset that is not helpful for anyone in their fitness journey, their health journey at all, because it's like, when you're on point, you're on point, and then either that or you just go like completely overboard. So I want you to become more of a macro detective and start to really, when you see those things, when you're going over it, you're going to take all of this as data and see what happened this week. Why didn't I see progress? And that progress wasn't seen because I, went over my macros, or like that was a trigger for me to like, go down a sleeve of Oreos or something like that. The second that you say like, oh my God, like I've already thrown it out the window, I've already given up, is the time that you're going to stop, you're going to see progress stall, rather than say like, I went over 100 calories, and you still will see progress. So it's not about perfection. It's about letting go of perfection, and you're going to see the best results when you do that. The years that I tracked and I had to be perfect and I was just like so strict, it affected my quality of life, and I do not want that for anyone else. So the third tip, which is kind of what I just talked about, is let go of perfection. There's never going to be a good time to start. There's never going to be, your macros will never be perfect. You're going to have weeks that you go over, that you're under, that you don't hit your protein, that life happened and maybe you forgot to track until like later on, all of that stuff. So the second that you let go of perfection is when you start to see progress. I would say for my clients, like 85%, 90% of hitting their macros most of the time sees the best results. It's great if you can get it, you can be super disciplined, but that isn't for everyone, right? Not everyone is going to have that, and I don't expect that. And you still see great progress. If your food is like 70% healthy and like 30% that week, you're still going to see great progress. The fourth tip is to pre-plan and pre-plug, especially in the beginning. When you first start tracking macros, you will notice that you're not hitting your macros. If you're just going through the day and slowly like updating stuff, or going to the end of the day and you're just like, oh my God, like I only have 50 grams of protein, you will never hit that protein. You will never be consistent because you are doing it on the fly. When you pre-plan, pre-plug, in your head there's less decisions that need to be made because you already planned it out. You already know what you're hitting. You've already like plugged it in, so you already have your protein goals. You already know what's going to happen, right? You plan out your meals, having something ahead of time. We all know that, right? I have like a million to-do lists, but unless I time bucket my stuff, you're never going to hit those. You're never going to get that to-do list done until you really focus on, planning ahead of time, scheduling that time in for yourself to actually do that. Whether it's that morning of, the night before, and this doesn't have to be forever, right? You don't have to continuously track forever, and you don't have to pre-plan forever. I went through my day until 4:30 last night, and I still hit my macros because of the fact that I have been doing this for a while. That's just easier, right? The fifth tip is going to be starting off with balanced meals. So that's going to look like about a quarter of your plate is going to be lean protein, something like chicken breast, lean steak, ground beef, something along those lines. And then half of your plate is going to be a non-starchy vegetable. A starchy vegetable would be something like potatoes. Non-starchy is going to be something like salad, greens, things like that. Even like zucchini or something along those lines can be a non-starchy veggie. And then a quarter of your plate can be the carbohydrates. That could be, rice. It could be bread. That could be some pasta. That's going to be the easiest way to set up your meals originally, and a little bit of fat. So maybe that's oil. Maybe that's a little bit of avocado, some like nuts or something like that. It's going to be a good way to schedule out your meals and to feel full and to fuel your body throughout the day. You're going to feel your best if you fuel yourself properly. Macros do work, so if you feel like you're frustrated with them, or you're just like, I've tried it and it didn't work for me, you need to make your own nutrition plan. You need to make it work for you. So if you're trying to cut out all these foods, it's learning to like adapt in and start pulling in foods that maybe you have been like you need, like more vegetables, more whole grains, things like that, but still just decrease the portion size of your current foods that are just not working for you, or you're struggling with, or the things that you enjoy that you always want to keep. So, and again, going back to the pre-planning and pre-plugging, the best tip I have for you, if you're someone who's like a night eater, you have to have something at least once a day, is going to be to pre-plug that in. I plan in my nighttime snacks every single day. Like, that is going in first because that's like what's going to keep me satisfied. That's going to keep me on track. That's going to keep me going. So again, use your food scale. Don't be afraid of it. Track everything. Be that macro detective. Let go of perfection. Just start, right? Just start. Just don't beat yourself up. It's not time to beat yourself up. Pre-plan and pre-plug, and then practice using balanced meals is number 5. So if you have any questions, like I said, I'd love to hear where you are on your macro tracking journey. And then if you have any mini trainings you want me to cover, definitely reach out. You can check out my link below as far as getting your one-time macros, and I'll be going live on Monday talking about carbs versus low calories and which one is the best for fat loss and yields the best results. So any questions, definitely let me know, and let me know you watch this. Do #replay. I'll talk to you all later. Have a great weekend.